Hello, I'm Dark Bloom and welcome to my corner of the internet. Today we're going to be talking about the Twisted Metal TV series. Now I'm just going to cut to the chase here and say I was wrong. In one of my earlier videos I predicted the show would be just straight up bad, but that is far from the case actually. I'm really enjoying the show and I'm not the only one. The humor does in fact land well, the show has its dark moments, so it's a perfect blend of the two, which I never even considered a possibility. Today I'm going to be discussing episode 1. There are 10 episodes, I'm halfway through the show and loving every moment of it. This one is quite divided on Rotten Tomatoes, but to be honest, the critics thought Cuties was good, so their opinions aren't really valid, at least to me. To the audiences though, this show's doing fairly well, so yeah, let's dive into episode 1. Now I do want to give the full series a fair cover and a more detailed video. But as of now, like I said, this is just going to be the first episode, my impressions and thoughts on it, and me admitting I was kind of wrong about it. So yeah, let's dive into episode 1 and get this ball rolling.
"20 years ago, the world fell to shit. A big ol' apocalyptic dump. Some bug took out all the world's computers. Power grids down, the internet gone. And not having easily accessible porn freaked people the fuck out.
This is the first time the show got a laugh out of me. This was good.
So cities put up walls to protect themselves and threw the criminals out into the chaos so they could fight over what was left, which was not much. Mostly cars and guns.
So if you've seen Mad Max, you can kind of tell it's similar in that aspect. Very similar, you know, post-apocalyptic world. Everyone's surviving, doing what they can. People have cars with guns mounted to them. However, there's a big tone difference between this and Mad Max, as you'll see when you watch the show.
Now insiders stay inside and outsiders stay outside, but they are people who drive between. Badasses. Legends. Humble motherfuckers like me delivering precious cargo from one walled city to another.
A lot like Mad Max. A lot like it.
It's not an easy road because all these assholes want what I got. And that's where the cars and the guns come in.
So I was very worried about the car combat in the show, but I was wrong. The car combat is very satisfying to watch. They did a fantastic job on this as well. I'm very happy to report the biggest issue with the trailers was the tone. Like, the tone just seemed like a complete joke, but that's not the case. Not the case at all. They do it very well. The writing is, dare I say, good? Yeah, I think it is. I enjoy it. The dark humor is just icing on the cake. I'm very pleased. I absolutely love car combat. I love Death Race. I love Twisted Metal games. I love Crossout. I love Mad Max. Car combat is so fucking cool. I'm so glad they kind of got this right in this TV show. It's pretty good. Now the episodes are a set 30-minute runtime, give or take around that area. A total of 10 episodes are now live on Peacock. We're not sure about season 2, but given how well the show's probably doing, I can probably bet we're gonna get a season 2. And I heard there's a post-cut scene at the end of episode 10, so that kind of makes me think it's already in the works somewhat to an extent.
I'm on it, no bunny. We can't find shit back here. If we're gonna steal shit, we gotta stay organized. Booyah!
If you're a fan of the game, there's tons of references to those games inside the show. Like, I mean, a lot. And it's just fantastic. I was having a good time just pointing out all the references I was catching. There's a good bit of them, and it's fucking fun. Like this. Nice. There's a lot of practical effects, so if you're a fan of practical effects over CGI, there's a good bit of practical effects. There's obviously going to be CGI as well, with some aspects of it being stronger than others. But a lot of it is, you know, practical. It's nice. The cars look good, the settings look good. The production team did a fantastic job on this show. Sure, it's not going to be an Oscar winner, but it's a fun watch. I'm having a very good time enjoying it. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's dive into what the show's all about. Get into some of the characters and what's going on with the plot. Before we dove into the meat of the show, I wanted to get the gist out of the way and let you guys know that it is a good show, and I was wrong in my original video. This show does get kind of gory. I mean, I didn't expect it to get bloody, but it gets bloody. So let's dive into what the Twisted Metal TV show is all about. The intro sequence perfectly showcases this show. It gives you a great idea of what it's about, and the blood is pretty fucking heavy in this show. A lot heavier than I expected for some reason. I don't know why, but it is pretty heavy in this show. But I wanted to show you that intro sequence before we dive into the deeper details, because that right there perfectly sums up the tone of the show. Carnage with humor. And there are some dark moments in this show, but I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. This is gonna be like a spoiler-free video on the whole plot and story, besides what I showed you in the exposition intro. The plot so far is actually pretty coherent. I'm happy with the story. It's a lot better than I expected it to be. I didn't think they would find a solid route with the story, but they did, and it's good. So yeah, with that out of the way, and now you got an idea of how the show's gonna play out, let's get into it. As I was saying before, this show does get dark. I'll show you an example.
You can resist. In which case, you have to napalm the both of you. Or, one of you can make the tough choice. Take your own life. Consider your punishment.
So yeah, the show for sure has its dark moments. The first episode revolves around introducing the characters, introducing John, what he does. He's basically what they call a milk delivery man. He delivers like provisions and rations to settlements and stuff like that. He's been doing it for a while. You can tell from the intro he's confident when he does. And then he comes across Raven here, and she gives him a proposition to go to New Chicago. And that's like completely across the country. So he has to make the decision to try and risk his life to get a place in this safe city. As you can see here, Raven has set up this nice little city, presented it to him as this nice safe haven. But as you can tell later in the episode, that's not exactly how it's going to be. There's definitely fuckery afoot, and I guess we'll find out later in the series. But yeah, John is propositioned with this opportunity to live in a safe haven that is presented to him by Raven, and he takes it. And that is the gist of episode 1. It gets the plot of the whole series rolling, it gets everything going, it gets the objective for the main characters, and it introduces the antagonists as well, or at least one of them that we know of. So John goes and tells his friend Tommy about the opportunity to go to New Chicago. Well, Tommy is warning him that he's going to have to travel quite a way. And along his journey, he's gonna have to go through New Vegas, and he warns John about who's in New Vegas. And this is when we start getting a hint at Mr. Sweet Tooth, and it eventually cut to him in his truck from the trailer. We'll recognize the shot from the trailer. And yeah, I didn't know Sweet Tooth had the moves like Jagger. The trailers made Sweet Tooth out to be kind of like a joke, but let me tell you, in this show, he is deranged. He is absolutely menacing. I love how manic they made him. You remember how in the trailer, how everyone kind of thought Sweet Tooth was going to be a joke, especially after the singing trailer of him and John Doe just singing? Well, that was a complete misleading on the marketing part, because Sweet Tooth is a straight badass in this show, let me tell you that. This dude is menacing and even has a slight sense of humor, so they did him very well in this show. I like it. Right out the gate from episode 1, the cast of characters has already turned out to be pretty damn good. You got Agent Stone, you got Loud, you got Quiet, you also have Raven, and you know, of course, John Doe, and of course you got Agent Shepard. Already in the first episode, the game's cast list is looking pretty good. Next, let's talk the show's humor. I actually really love the show's humor. The trailer did no justice for this show whatsoever, I'm telling you right now. The humor is way better in the actual show than what they made out to be on the trailer. There is a lot less meta humor than you would have thought from the trailer. The humor is just kind of dark, on point for the atmosphere, and overall kind of funny. There's references in there, and there's just jokes, you know? Like this parallel parking joke, for example, it could have ran on and on. They stopped it right before it became grating, right before it started to get annoying. They stopped the little parallel parking joke. The humor in this show is dark, funny, with a tad bit of meta, nowhere near as much as the trailers would make you think. The humor in this show is pretty good. And whatever the fuck this thing is, yeah, that's something. or how John Doe hands up a little license plate with John Doe on it. That shit got a chuckle out of me. Something about that was just funny. I don't know why. Or the moment he thinks he's about to be ambushed after being brought into the apartment by Raven, but it turned out it was just, you know, Raven and her husband coming down the stairs. Husband in quotations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good day.
Yeah, very good. Come meet John. John, this is my husband, Noah.
Huh. Hi, I was just admiring your, this thing.
You'll learn off the episode 1 that there's something going on with Raven. The way she pulls John Doe in is very deceptive. She is manipulating him, and she wants him to help her for a reason we're not sure of yet. Now you can tell there's a social dynamic going on here. You got people like John Doe who risks his life every day to deliver to settlements, fighting in his car, doesn't know a day of safety. And then you got people like Raven who are leading these complete settlements how they were before the apocalypse, cities, safe cities, buildings everywhere. So there's something going on deeper in this story than the game story, and I appreciate that. Looking back on the games, they didn't really have much of a story to them. It was a simple tournament kind of idea. It was basically Mortal Kombat for cars. Within the first episode, the story of the Twisted Metal TV series kind of pulls you in. You kind of get a curiosity going for it. You wonder what Raven's plan is. You wonder what John Doe's going to find. It leaves you wondering on what Twisted Metal cast member you're going to come across next. The world building is very well done. It just, I don't know. I really like the show. Like they blew my expectations out of the water with Twisted Metal TV series. Like the world building's fantastic. The characters are fantastic. The set designs are pretty cool. The car combat is fucking awesome. The humor hits way more than it misses, at least for me. So that's a big plus. A big plus for me. The first episode starts building some background story for our main protagonist, John Doe here. You can tell that he doesn't really know who he is. He even says this. He woke up in his car, and that's where his journey began. So, throughout the series, I suspect we're going to figure out more about John Doe and where he came from and stuff like that. So, there is a story here, and a fairly good one at that. The CGI in the show is definitely not the strong suit, just going to say that right now. You can tell what is CGI and what isn't. Like this gun, or this thing. Twisted Metal TV series is off to a fantastic start. I'm really enjoying the show. Like I said, I went in with almost zero expectations. I thought it was just going to be straight dog water, I'm not going to lie. I'm very glad I was wrong. I hope this sparks interest in the IP again. I hope we get a new Twisted Metal game. Because this take that Peacock is doing is very fresh on the Twisted Metal series. Like, I'm actually really enjoying this. I cannot say that enough. I'm happy with it. I did not think this was going to be good at all, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong about this show. It is very good. The TV show is estimated to have a full budget of $82 million, which is quite a bit. So Sony is investing a decent amount of money into Twisted Metal. So yeah guys, this is my initial thoughts on the Twisted Metal TV series. I'm really enjoying it. I love the direction they're doing. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. Good job, Peacock. You guys really knocked it out of the ballpark with this one. But yeah, that's all I have for you today, guys. So take care. Go ahead and like the video, drop a subscribe, and take care. Have a great week, guys.